Bree's mom, and today I want to show you how to make Aduki beans or Azuki beans. It's spelled both ways, same bean. I have them over here, and actually I have two different companies of beans. This one, I don't know if you can tell the difference. It's brighter, rounder, it looks just glistening more. And this is grown on volcanic soils on Hokkaido Island in Japan, whereas this one is a North American one, still fine, but there is a difference in color and brightness. And when I can, I like to use these. So today I want to Aduki beans. They're really good. It's both Bree's and my favorite bean. And they're really good for the kidneys and the liver, tonify the kidneys. Also, what's really nice about them, especially for, I'm thinking of my child and other children like my child who've been on meds or have to be on meds, Aduki beans detoxify the body. So it helps with all that. So what I'm going to do is show you different ways to prepare these beans. And then in another video I'll show you a couple other beans, but since this is sort of what I consider our main, in Japan it's considered the king of the beans. So, and it's always eaten at special celebrations. What I'm making is today Aduki bean or Azuki bean soup, and I'm then doing the beans with winter squash as a main dish, which will be served with grain and vegetables. And it will take a while, so we'll get them started and then take a break and come back, because this is about an hour and a half process for both these dishes. What I've done to make my soup stock is in the pot in the back here I've got 10 cups of water, and then I have what is called kombu. It's a seaweed, sea vegetable. I call them sea vegetables because, you know, not all seaweeds that are in the ocean do you eat. Just like not everything that grows, there's wild vegetables outside, but some you eat and some aren't edible. So I call them sea vegetables. And I buy mine, a lot of mine in bulk, from a company in California called Ocean Harvest Sea Vegetable Company. You can go online and find them. I just really love their quality. There's also Maine sea vegetables, but I have, there's one that the Ocean Harvest people have that is my favorite, so I tend to order in bulk from them. And I'll buy a half to a pound at a time. So the preparation for the soup is I have 10 cups of water, and then I put in about this much of the kombu. Okay, and the kombu, this is another that you can get. You can even get this at Amazon, kombu. Okay, and I soaked it in some water to reconstitute it, and then I put it in this pot, and for 15 minutes I brought it to a boil, and that is my soup stock. You don't need chicken meat or anything, because that's acid forming. I'm really focusing on alkaline type foods, which a body that's more alkaline can fight off disease better and sickness better. So that is already prepared. What I'm doing is I'm taking out the kombu. There it is. I'm dicing it up and putting it right back in. Okay? And it will just, you won't even know it's there. It'll just dissolve. Kombu is amazing. It reduces tumors. It fights off the effects of radiation. It also, because it is considered one of the most mineralized foods, because our minerals are really important, it will increase the nutrients of any food it's cooked with. So you always, at least I do, put kombu when you're cooking beans, because what it also does is kombu balances the protein and oil in the beans to make them more digestible. So this helps make your beans more digestible. And now I'm going to put these beans in right now, but I'm going to show you how I prepared them. So what we have to start is just the soup stock made from the kombu, then the diced up kombu. Now I have 2 cups of the Azuki beans going right in here. And now I'll bring that to a boil, and in about, 45 minutes, I will add some onion and carrot, or onion and sweet potato, whatever, but onion and carrot is the standard for that. So I'll put a cover on it, that'll come to a boil, and that'll be fine. Oops, a cover that fits. There we go. All right. So now the soup is on its way. Next is showing you when you buy Aduki beans. These are the ones from my local food store. These are the ones that you can either get online at thekushistore.com or goldminenaturalfoods.com, and they'll be delivered right to your door. So what you do with beans always, whether you visually see it or not, is you put them in a plate and you look through them for any stones, because there can be stones in them. These Japanese ones are really, really clean. But I have found stones, or any that are cracked or split open. The energy's not there anymore. So you just want to throw those out. Then when you know there are no stones, then what you do is put them, if you're dealing with sick kids, they don't have to be pre-soaked. Azuki beans don't have to be pre-soaked. But if you're having someone having trouble swallowing or they're sick, I would pre-soak up to overnight, at least a couple hours if you can. And it'll just make them better, easier to digest. Okay? And always, once you've checked for stones, you take them and you rinse them 3 times. Pour out the water, rinse them again, pour out the water, just to make sure any dirt or dust or anything is off of them, okay? Because that's not going to taste real good. So what I have for the bottom of this pot is a couple of pieces, again, of the kombu. Now the kombu is also helps for people who are having trouble swallowing. So it's an amazing, besides making things more digestible, I'm trying to think of all the, it's just so many benefits to that. So, you know, when you have something like kombu that reduces tumors and it tonifies the kidneys and puts more nutrients in whatever you eat, and then you cook it with winter squash, which is full of vitamin C, and then the Azuki beans, which detoxify the body. I'm trying to point out that how these foods, how all-encompassing healing they are. I'm going to turn the soup down. Now the winter squash goes next into the pot, and I'll show you in a minute. I have shown you in other videos how to prepare the winter squash, and I'll put the flame on for this. You know, now it's over 30 years that I've been doing this, but what people don't realize is when I started this, I had no clue. I just knew that Bree was on medication. She had 5 years life, her prognosis. She's getting sick all the time. The medications, yes, I was grateful for them at the time, but they weren't going to heal her. They were just going to mask the situation. And I found out about this, and I heard another family was doing it, and it helped with the seizures. And when I went to Boston, the first time, I had no idea what I was getting into or anything. All I knew is that I was going to do it. If there was hope, I was going to do it. And I drove in a snowstorm, just Bree and I, where I couldn't see, from here to the end of the room in front of me. and got there, and the person that offered to teach me, now you put the beans on top like this. The person that offered to teach me, Mary Cat, met me at the door and got us settled in. I'm there with Bree. She's a really tiny little thing. And she said, okay, schedule is I don't start teaching cooking until after Mass in the morning. Then we'll cook all day. And for 4 days, that's what we did. And that was the beginning. That was the beginning. Up until then, I'd been about 2 weeks doing this from a book. I didn't have the wonderfulness of this technology we have today. So then we've got the kombu on the bottom, we got the squash, we got the beans on top. Now I'll add water to just cover. Just get it up and cover these. Bring it to the boil, put a cover on, and no mixing for the whole time. These just cook perfectly like they are. So this will come to the boil, and I will show you halfway what I do with this too. So that's good. Now to prepare the squash, like I've shown before, my favorite two are the curry and the buttercup, and a butternut I like too, but these are sweeter, so I'm always going for the sweeter, and I think Bree likes it too. Always cut it right in half, like this, okay? Let me get it. Always cut away from yourself, please. There. There we are. Then what you do is you always put it flat down, cut each end off, and then cut the skin off away from you. And take a soup spoon, scoop out all the inside, put it in your compost bucket. And then I just dice it up. So let me just do a small section quickly to give you an idea. Okay. And here we go. Just take that skin off. Now, if it's organic, you can leave the skin on. I heard something this morning that's amazing. Because you want organic is first choice for your kids. Or conventional. Like, I just bought 200 pounds this fall of these squash from my local farmer, who I know uses Johnny seeds from Maine. So those are good seeds. Because if you're having something that's a GMO seed, you don't want it. What I heard on the news, which was like, oh wow, even McDonald's of all, who I did an experiment with a McDonald's hamburger, where my aide's little 10-year-old and she got it when they went out, she bought it, we packaged it up, stapled it, put the date on it, put it in the closet for a year. And because I'd heard about this type of experiment. We took it out. The thing had no mold, no smell. That's big danger. Big danger sign after a year. It just was this dried up piece of brown and white, basically. So that little girl doesn't want to eat it at McDonald's anymore. So you take all the skin off. You've taken this out. And did I get sidetracked on my story, my local farm? Anyway, and then just slice through. Just slice through like that. That's fine. Okay? And that's what I had that bowl of. So, so yes, because these will last in the breezeway or in a garage, and these will last me up until Christmas, hopefully. And I got them in September. This is full of vitamin C. And what was I going to say about these? Anyway, what I'm going to make also, this is going to be a main dish. It's coming to the boil. And then I will also use this to eat just like that. But I'm also going to make a natural spaghetti from this. which I'll show you later on. So, oh, the other thing I was going to say about when I bought them at the farm, you know, I paid 50 cents a pound compared to the health food store at that time, which was $1.60 a pound. So yeah, that's how I buy things in bulk when I can. You know, I buy my grain on sale when it goes on sale in 25-pound bags. There is a way to do, if I can do this on assistance all these years, and with, you know, really at a very low income, anybody can do it. It's just prioritizing it. So we've got these started, and we'll come back in a bit, and I'll show you how it goes so you can see how I add water and vegetables as we go along. Now we're about 45 minutes into cooking both these dishes. For the soup, I will now add some diced onion. So I'll just slice through this. Now, normally you would add some carrot. And for Bree, I'm adding sweet potato. But I will show you what you do with the soup. I put about 2 cups of sweet potato. And you can, this is a vegetable brush. You can just keep the knives, these are organic. Remember, it's really, really important to buy the organic. Anything with those little labels that come on your fruits, and you see them on the vegetable too, if it starts with 8, you don't want it. 8 is genetically modified. And to finish the story that I started on McDonald's, I just heard on the news this morning that they are refusing to use genetically modified potatoes, which, wow, you know, that's awesome. Genetically modified, I don't care what commercials, Monsanto, the company Monsanto is the one that a lot of people are trying to stop from the genetically modified seeds and creating all our foods as genetically modified. There's nothing good about that. There's actually diseases now that people are getting from eating genetically modified foods. It's like zombie food. And now I see they have commercials on TV talking about how they're so concerned about our food when they're not concerned about our food. You want, ideally, the label to be 9, organic. Our little kids, they've got enough chemicals going into their systems because of the seizures and everything for their liver to try and detoxify without all these extra chemicals. So just, you can clean it just with a brush, or you can just take the skin off. And when you clean it with a brush, that's what it looks like, and I just took off the sort of nastier parts. This one I'm just slicing sort of big diced chunks, and it's going to go right in the soup. Now, if you were to do the carrot, I'll just finish this one. You know, my whole goal was to put everything on my daughter's side. Did I know what I was getting into? No. But wow, it brought some form of control back to a very traumatic, uncontrollable situation. When your child is sick, as far as I'm concerned, there's nothing worse. And so I had to learn a whole new way, and I'm so appreciative today. So I would use about this many carrots, this size. Aren't these beautiful? And just wash them. Just wash them with this, and take off any parts that you might not like, and just slice it down the middle, right down the middle. And then put each side down here and slice it again, and then just dice it through and put it in the soup. All right? So I'm going to put this in the soup, bring it to a boil again, and then simmer it, and let this all cook. And I'm going to know, you're going to know the beans are done because you can take one out and just taste it. This, you see, it's getting dry on the top. So I'm adding, just to always keep it, just a bit of water like that, adding it to that. You keep an eye on it because the water will boil off. Put the cover on it. And when this is about 80% done, I will then season it with salt or season it with the tamari, matuku, and probably 2 teaspoons when I take out Bree's amount first. Always take Bree's out, maybe 1 teaspoon for the little kids. And then take their portion out, and I'll blender it up for Bree, and then you can season it more for the rest of the family. All right, and we'll come back as everything gets closer and closer to the end of cooking. Soup is ready. How you tell is you put a spoon in, take a bean out, and taste it. If the bean's soft, your soup is ready. I will season it with either some sea salt, but tamari. But first, the most important thing is before the rest of the family has that soup, you take out some for your child. And for me, it's Bree. This is Bree's. I use the baby mill to grind it up, everything, the garnish and everything. I also use a bullet. I've gone through a couple of bullets, and I've gone through many of these over 30 years, just a few. I just want to make sure there's no pieces she can choke on. So call me paranoid, I don't care. So this is Bree's ready to go. It's miso for Bree, 1/4 teaspoon of miso. Miso is the salt, okay? Miso is awesome, okay? It's soybean paste. I love this product, South River Miso. Go on and see how they make this. It's like handmade in Massachusetts, southrivermiso.com. And there's certain products I love, and I don't work for the company or anything like that. Just love these products. This does not have to be refrigerated. I do, but you don't have to. If mold came on top, you would just scrape the mold off and the rest would be fine. Miso has the same pattern as meat. It also has the lactobacillus that yogurt has, so it's good for your digestion. It has traces of B12 in it. And you never boil it. I will take Bree's hot soup. I'll put the miso, 1/4 teaspoon, in the bowl, put the hot soup in with it, and just simmer. Never boil, or you'll lose those live, wonderful enzymes that is in the miso. I always use for healing 3-year barley miso. That's what was recommended by Micha for Bree. And they make many, many different kinds, but this is healing level. Longer it's fermented, it just smells, to me, delicious. So this is it's a salt replacement. Miso is a soybean paste it's believed to be first made in China 2,500 years ago. So it's just an awesome food. It will, you put miso and the kombu seed vegetable together. You put this mixture of the benefits of kombu, the benefits of Aduki beans, detoxifies the body, good for the liver and kidneys, especially for the kidneys. Then, of course, all the protein and everything, the kombu, which makes everything, it's cooked with a higher nutrient level. It breaks down the hard fibers of beans, so it also makes them more digestible. Kombu is so mineralized. And then you put miso as the seasoning on top, which all these awesome benefits with miso. And then you garnish it with some raw parsley chopped up, huge in vitamin C. I put that through the baby mill too. That's the little bit of green garnished on top. And you know what? This is her favorite soup. Absolutely, this is her favorite soup. So this is ready for her lunch after we finish this. And then I could take out maybe 3 days for Bree, season it, put it away in glass containers, it's ready to go. Then for the rest of the family, I'll put usually like 1/2 teaspoon miso per person. And I'm just going to take this out. This is beautiful, seasoned up. This is what you have. You can either garnish. Garnish is really important for the balance. Just bear with me on that. So some parsley, and how nice is that? Or some scallion. I'm going to put a little bit of both. And that is a finished bowl of soup. and on a winter, fall, cold spring day. It's awesome. So that's the soup. Then the other finished dish we have are the beans. When they were 80% done, the same thing. Just take one of them. They're soft, soft, soft. They're so ready to go. And what I did is, in this pot, I put 2 capfuls of the tamari. And then if you want to season, once again, take your child's portion out. If you want to season it a little bit more for the rest of the family, fine. But I'm really focused on the kids. And so now, nothing was mixed during the whole cooking. You don't need to be overactive here with these foods. And, you know, if the grain, you let it cook, you don't stir it while it's cooking. The beans, you just add water to keep them covered so that they don't burn. But this is the bean dish, and what I would do with this is I have 2 plates here. What I'm going to do, I want to show you, give you ideas of what a complete meal looks like. And that's the one thing I love about macrobiotics, is any time I sat down to supper, I knew I was getting everything I needed. So on this plate is steamed leafy greens, kale. And this is what the curly kale looks like. And I did a vegetable video for showing different vegetables, and I might have to do one on the different ways to cut the vegetables. Because everything, it keeps the variety going. So it makes a person who can handle a variety of situations coming to them. On this plate I have a boiled salad, which is red cabbage with daikon. And this is what the daikon radish looks like. That's half of it, because I used half of it. Okay, it's a beautiful thing. And you've got a sea vegetable dish. I will do a video on some simple sea vegetable dishes you can do. These are long life. These are, sea vegetables are the most unrecognized food in North America. You know, they're anti-diabetic, they're anti-cancer. Anything that's anti-major diseases is going to benefit our children. And then I have a rice dish here, and I have a little bit of sauerkraut. So the only thing to finish this dish now are some beans. And there they go. And that makes, that's a complete, as far as I'm concerned, supper. Because you have the grain and bean, complete protein. You have the sea vegetable dish. You have 2 vegetables. And the sauerkraut for digestion. For our kids, just soak the sauerkraut a little bit to take the excess salt out. And it goes through the baby mill again. Okay, this is a beautiful one from Vermont. So that also, the rice dish here I made yesterday. So for Sarah Mota, because you mentioned to me you're trying out some of the rice dishes, this is another one you can try. And basically what this rice dish, how I made it, was I cooked rice in a pot, like on the brown rice video, and it was 4 cups of water to 2 cups of brown rice with half a teaspoon of salt. So you have your rice cooked. Turn it off, and the rice is still hot. Just leave it like it is. Add a grated carrot. Add about a cup of broccoli flowerlets. Put that in 1 garlic minced. Put that in a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. A 1/4 cup of ground flaxseed, because remember, you've got to grind the flaxseed for it to be absorbed into your body, otherwise it'll pass right out. A 1/4 cup of hemp seed. And you mix that all in, and also what you can add to the top of it is an avocado diced up and put in. You know, you take out the pit in the middle and you just cut through it, dice it through, and then put, not the skin of course, the meat in. Mix it all up, and that was that rice dish. So now you've got the hemp seed and the flaxseed, all those great omegas. You've got the broccoli with the vitamin C. You've got the avocado, the healthy fat. You bring that all together, and so for me, I just look at these plates. I know it sounds strange, but it's like so nutrient strong, really nutrient strong. So the next dish, to show you another way to use the Aduki beans, is I am going to put some toasted sesame oil in the bottom of this pot. This stuff smells beautiful. Then I'm going to add some scallion sliced up. Ooh, listen to that. That smells good. And let's get that going. Now, oh, that smells good. Now this is going to be, I don't give Bree any nightshade vegetables, which are your tomato, your eggplant, your peppers. I just think for her joints, I need her joints to be flexible and working well for her creeping. Okay. Oh, this smells so good. All right. Now I am going to add to that some of the cooked Azuki with the winter squash. Okay. Here we go. Cook that up. Oh, this is nice. Yeah, I want more. All right. And I just heat that up. Then what I can do is season it with some tamari. I would only put a cap for Bree. And I could always season it up for everybody else later. I am going to put all of this in. Seaweed and all, it'll just dissolve beautifully in there. And then what I have, which I've already cooked up, are some noodles. These noodles are wheat and gluten-free noodles. These are awesome noodles. They hold their form. This company is, you should be able to get these anywhere in the States. If I could get them in New Hampshire, you can get them anywhere. Tinyaka. These wonderful, probably, I'm sure, Gold Mine Natural Food has them, or any of your local food co-ops have them. These are organic. These are spaghetti noodles. They are made in a totally wheat-free factory, which means there is no wheat dust flying, because a lot of noodles, they might make wheat and gluten-free, but they don't have a factory that is dedicated. You know, they'll make wheat products somewhere else. So there's no dust or anything with these. They make beautiful penne. They make penne noodles. They make macaroni noodles. They make lasagna noodles. These are just beautiful. They're my favorite noodle. So you can get those at your local store or online. I mean, you can probably get them at Amazon. You can get anything at Amazon. So let me just spell this for you. It's Tinkayada. Tinkayada. Tenyata. Okay? Beautiful, beautiful brown rice pasta, organic. So now I have the noodles cooked. Just follow the directions on the package for that. And in go the noodles. Because I'm trying to not have the videos be too long. And mix that in nicely. And then this is what I call a natural spaghetti. And the heat of the beans, everything's mixing together beautifully. This is Aduki beans and rice, or Aduki beans and noodles like this. It's a great summer way to have it. But I love the noodles. It's very comforting food. So, this is nice. All right, this is very nice. Yeah, I love this food. I love that I have. This is only because of Bree. I would have never known about this. I know about it because she needed it. She needed it high. Do you know that 70 or more percent of our immune system is in our gut? So that's really, what you eat is really important to your building your immunity, being strong enough to fight off diseases and all the stuff our kids deal with. So food is really, really, really important. Now I will have noodles and beans here as another dish. Turn that off. There we go. And of course I've got my, for those people that want, you know, we've got gamasio, which is a condiment that you can have on the table. Please don't ever put soy sauce or tamari on your table. People will oversalt too much. This is sesame seeds and sea salt. And the sesame seeds, of course, are really the highest food with calcium in it. So you could sprinkle that on here. And you've got 2 ways, 1, 2, 3 ways to have Adukis. And I would like to end with another way you can do it. Aduki beans, anybody with kidney issues of any kind, what you could do is make an Aduki bean tea. And how you would do that is you would take half a cup of the Aduki beans. Of course, rinse them, make sure there's no stones, the same as any. Put them in a pot of 3 cups of water and bring it to a boil with an inch piece of the kombu. Just cut it, whatever, an inch piece of this. And bring it to a boil and then simmer that for 30 minutes. And you then just drain off what is now the tea. You can use the Aduki beans, cook them more, and use them in another way, but mainly we're focused here on the tea. Then you can refrigerate it and just rewarm it and drink a cup of that. But that is medicinal tea for any type of kidney complaint. So I think I've covered everything. And I'll cover more about miso when I will do a video strictly on miso soup, because miso soup is so important. A bowl of that every day, especially with all the radiation coming at us from all over the place. And miso soup with the kombu and the sea vegetables are a great way that you can counteract that, and your body can detoxify any of that. So here we go, right, Bree? Let's see. Hey, girlie. Are you hungry for your soup? Are you hungry for your soup? What do you think? You're hungry now? Mama tests it. Mama always tests it, make sure it's not too hot. How about it? Come on. Come on, sweet pea. Let's go. Come on. Of course, the camera's on. There we are. How's that? How's that? Did that work for you? All right, there we go. Thank you.